placing on 1 year suspended, 2 years probation.
Now on Fox 61, we're continuing our team coverage of the horrific discovery of the body of 11-year-old Jacqueline Mimi Torres-Garcia. Tonight, the 3 suspects accused in her death appeared in court and emotions ran high.
And we're hearing from the paternal grandparents of Mimi. They're sharing more stories about their granddaughter, plus why they'll never stop fighting for her.
I really didn't want to believe it was a body.
Plus, an anonymous tipster who says she led police to Mimi's body is coming forward to Fox 61.
And now questions are being raised as it relates to homeschool oversight. I'm looking into a report from nearly 8 years ago that lays out recommendations that are aimed at preventing deaths like Mimi's.
And after 2 gloomy days, we are ready for some sunshine. We are going to talk about when improvements return.
Now at 10, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Well, tonight the story continues to develop in New Britain, where the body of 11-year-old Jacqueline Torres-Garcia was found behind a home nearly 1 week ago. Thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 10. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. It was an emotional day in court. The 3 people charged in connection to Jacqueline's death went before a judge.
Her mother, Carla Garcia, and Carla's boyfriend, Jonathan Anita, are both charged with murder with special circumstances and risk of injury to a child. They're both being held on a $5 million bond. Also in court, Jacqueline's aunt, who faces charges of unlawful restraint and cruelty. Her bond is set at $1 million.
Authorities say the child died in the fall of 2024 after prolonged abuse and malnutrition. Her body was reportedly moved from Farmington to New Britain. Loved ones had to be removed from the courtroom because of emotional outbursts today, and many family members wore shirts with Jackie's face on them. The suspects are due back in court November 14th. Well, tonight we have team coverage of the case. Fox 61's Annette Montgomery is looking into similar cases that we've seen in Connecticut in the past.
But we begin with Fox 61's Valerie Moravi live in New Britain at a growing memorial to honor 11-year-old Mimi. Valerie, Mimi's grandparents were in court today, and tonight we're hearing more about the girl. What do you have for us?
Yes, Brent, that is correct. Well, Jacqueline Torres-Garcia's paternal grandparents told me early Tuesday they started to feel that they were seeing justice being made for their little Mimi. And Tuesday evening, we saw several more people coming from out of town to visit Jackie's memorial site after hearing Jacqueline's story.
When I heard about it, it hurt, and I'm a mom myself. So hearing that the mom did it, it was very hurtful. She was just a little girl, and I just wanted to pay my respect.
Now here's one of many visitors who came to Jacqueline's memorial site as soon as she heard the news.
When I found out, I was crying all day. My heart goes out to her family.
Jacqueline's paternal grandparents told me Tuesday they were in the courtroom as Jacqueline's mother, her boyfriend, and sister were charged with multiple counts. Patricia and her husband Felix Delgado say justice is being served. In a previous interview, they told us how much they loved the little Mimi and the times they fought for her custody. The mom's boyfriend always knew Jackie was being abused, but he never said anything. He even had my son's phone number, but he never called to let us know. I used to always ask her to let me see the girl, but she always refused, saying that Mimi was her daughter, not mine. Now again, Jacqueline's grandparents also told us that they have submitted a petition to demolish this abandoned building to build a memorial park so that little Mimi's memory lives on forever. For now, live in New Britain, Valerie Moravi, Fox 61.
All right, Valerie, thank you. Now, what police say happened to Jacqueline Torres-Garcia is similar to previous cases in our state where police say a child was abused or found dead.
Fox 61's Annette Montgomery went through documents from those past cases. She joins us now in studio with what she found out. Annette.
Yeah, Brent and Sarah, we've seen several similar cases to 11-year-old Jacqueline. Most recently, we covered the case in Waterbury, where a woman is accused of holding her stepson captive for more than 20 years. In New London, a stepfather was accused of abusing a 10-year-old boy back in 2023. And in 2017, investigators say a 17-year-old boy from Hartford died from child abuse and neglect. In all 4 of these cases, police say the children were homeschooled.
Some information that's come forward between being removed from one school and entering another to being homeschooled.
New Britain police say Jacqueline Mimi Torres-Garcia had been documented as homeschooled, which made it difficult to realize she was missing. Now a new Change.org petition is calling for state lawmakers to create Mimi's Law in honor of Jacqueline. It calls for in-person welfare checks for homeschooled children and wants to mandate DCF is held accountable when repeated concerns go uninvestigated. Those requests are similar to the recommendations the Office of the Child Advocate, an independent state oversight agency, suggested 8 years ago in the case of 17-year-old Matthew Tirado from Hartford. He died in February of 2017 from what police say was prolonged child abuse and neglect. Police say his mother took him out of school and reported he was being homeschooled, only to later find out he was being abused, and DCF reports had been filed prior to his death. An OCA investigative report from 2017 showed back then there was, quote, an inadequate framework in Hartford and statewide for ensuring the safety of and education for children who are withdrawn from school to be homeschooled.
When we don't see them, when kids are not coming to school, we need to know more about why.
That was Sarah Egan, the executive director of the Center for Children's Advocacy, in December 2017. Back then, she worked for the OCA, and we spoke with her about Matthew's case and why having no regulations for homeschooling is concerning.
It leads to circumstances where certain children are withdrawn from school and the visibility of the community and denied an education. That is the unintended consequence of having no regulation.
As part of its recommendations, the OCA said school district officials should internally assess whether they need to notify DCF if a parent decides to withdraw their child from school and welfare concerns have already been raised. The agency also said the Public Defender's Office, Attorney General's Office, and the judicial branch should review current state law and procedure to determine how best to strengthen the safety net for children.
And when the OCA released those recommendations back in 2017, the agency said it wasn't hope of preventing what happened to Matthew Tirado from happening again. Now, I am set to speak with Egan about what's happened in the last 8 years and where the state goes from here. I will have that tomorrow night at 10 right here on Fox 61. In the studio, Annette Montgomery, Fox 61.
Thank you, Annette. A lot to think about there. We have full team coverage of this story on fox61.com and on our free Fox 61 News app. Download Fox 61 Plus right now. That's our streaming platform on Amazon, Roku, or your Fire Stick as well.